Hi guys, this is Freya from Life as Freya, and today I'm going to be taking a quick tour of a site called Scout My Trip, and they aim to be the ultimate trip planner. So I'm going to take their website for a spin and see how it works out when you're planning a trip. When you go to scoutmytrip.com, this is what you get to see as the welcome page. And they're still in beta. I've been seeing updates that they've been putting out over the last few months, and the site has definitely gotten better. So I'm going to quickly sign in and we're going to take it out for a quick spin and see how the site works out. Now, when you're signing up or signing in, one of the things that I really like is that they give a lot of options, and especially the option to choose your own email ID and password. I'm not very comfortable a lot of times with signing in through different apps and different websites, so this is a great way to sign up. Just put in your email ID and password and get started. Alright, now I'm going to choose a simple trip. So I'm going to start from Bangalore and I'm going to try and make my way to Pune and see how the trip works out. I've done this trip before, so it's a good way to judge what it's offering me. Right, now they give you different routes, or there are 3 routes that I get to choose from. I like that they give the various options there, so you have the roads that you'll be taking, the distances and the amount of time, so you actually get to make a good choice of what you're going to do. You also get to somewhat see what the route is like, so you can also choose based on whether you'd like to do a route somewhere along the coast or more towards the interior, like here towards Hyderabad. So you can choose your trip. I'm going to choose the one in the middle here because I'd like to go via Sholapur. Now, while we wait for it to load, this is where it starts planning out, and the route shows up on the map and you have details. You can choose your start date, so let's choose this as the 20th. I'd like to, of course, do a hotel budget of economy. There are other choices also if you'd like to, based on how you're traveling. You also get to choose whether you're going to do it solo, with friends or family. So some of your choices would get based on that as you go along. All along after this, you'll also see a little button that says start over, so you could go back and start afresh again. Now let's get started. Now here, first thing it's asking me how many nights I'm going to be staying in Pune, which would be 1. Also whether I'd like to choose hotels around Pune, so I'll say yes. Let's see what it shows me, right? So there are a lot of options here showing up right away. I'm also going to choose a location of Sholapur for a stay or the night, because it is a long trip to do in one day. Now I'm going to choose to stay in Sholapur for a night, right? So that's all the stay options that they show you, right? You also get to click on hotels that it's showing up and take a look at them, and you can add them to your trip if you'd like to. So in this case, actually, let's try adding this hotel and see how it works out as we go along. Now the next section that you'll come to is a very interesting one. I quite like this one, and I think it would be really helpful when you're planning a trip, because if you knew where your petrol pumps were along the route, you could plan accordingly. They also give you an option to add your vehicle. So based on your vehicle, I guess it would calculate your fuel economy. Not really sure how this works out, but let's put in. So I tried looking for the bike I use a lot more, which is my Yamaha RX100, but that doesn't really show up on the list. So I'm assuming that a lot of old bikes will not show up, though the newer Yamahas do show up. So I figured I would go with the Bullet for now. Even here, I don't see the older Bullets. They're most of the new ones. So I'm thinking a lot of old bikes and cars are not really listed here. but it's not too bad a choice if you're using newish bikes. So let's choose the Bullet 350 Twin Spark and see how things go along. You also get to choose the option of showing toilets along your way. Now this is great if you're traveling with women, especially women and children. Not that men shouldn't use the toilet, I think they should too. So mark your toilets and you know where to make your stops. You also get to choose food joints along the way, and that's that. So that's how many options I'm going to have along my route for each of those things. Now let's move on to step 3. Now along the route, and this is one of those things that I also really like about, or one of their features I really like, which is that it's not just a road trip that you're planning, but you can also plan to take a few deviations along the way and see different things. So they have options of choosing between hill stations, beach, wildlife. Now I tried putting in a beach here and of course it doesn't work, nothing shows up. But wildlife does show up a few things, and of course there is not going to be a desert. Urban doesn't interest me, and we won't really have the time for a trek on a road trip. So that's kind of what my choices are, and I'm not really very religious. So let's keep it at that and move on to the next section, and we're going to generate an itinerary and see what that looks like. Right? So now that's my itinerary, and what we're going to do with this is save the trip and see what that looks like. It's a one-way trip, and yeah, that looks okay as a title for the trip. Short description: ride to Pune to meet friends. Okay, and what type of trip? Now here is where I find it lacking, because when you put in a type of trip, it's a lot of other things. I mean, bikers would just do a ride. It's not really for a specific purpose. So the choices here don't completely solve my problem here, you see. So there's nothing I can choose for this trip. So maybe I'll just go with heritage because I have to choose something. Or let's see what happens if we don't choose anything. It goes through. You don't have to choose anything. Now the trip's saved, and I'd like to see what it shows me based on my choices. So that's what my route looks like on the map. Okay, it's created by me. It has one hotel, total distances, travel times, stay days. I think I've missed out stuff along the way. Looks like I should go back and edit my trip and see what. That looks like too little on the trip, right? Maybe you have to choose eating places and things like that to add to your map. So I'm going to go back and actually quickly take a look and see if I can make some changes. So let's customize the trip again. Let's go back and take a look. Now we've added stay, so that's done. And what I want to add is maybe the other things. So let's take a look at essentials. But before that, you've not saved your stay halts. Okay, which is fine. Let's take a look at petrol pumps. I think I need to choose, so I'm going to choose my vehicle again. I was hoping it would have picked up all of that since it already had been added. But let's take a look as to adding a few. So I think I need to do a pit stop somewhere here. So click on that. Would you like to add this? Yes. Maybe somewhere, at Sholapur. I think I should be able to get there. Shouldn't be too difficult. Yes, that looks okay. Different petrol pumps along the way. I guess if you someone who's really concerned about that, no, not SR, you could keep clicking till you find something you really like. So I think that would do just in case. So we keep that as another plan. The other thing I'd like to see is if it puts them all in the trip order, right? So I don't know if it chooses based on what I'm clicking on, or whether, no, it does go ahead and add it in the route order, which is perfect. Okay, so we've added that. Let's put in a couple of toilet stops in the itinerary too. Now, don't see any toilets here. Ah, okay. So we have a toilet stop here. Let's add that. That looks okay. And maybe a petrol pump. No. Okay. So looks like we have only one toilet stop that we can make. But there are petrol pumps that would allow you to do that. So I think you should be okay. That leaves us with food joints. Okay, let me add just a couple of those also so we can see what it looks like on the itinerary. Okay, there we go. All right, all added. Now let's go to the next one. Yes, we're done here. We added wildlife. Ah, I see. We need to add everything. So you're going to have to go along and add each thing so that it, what if one day, does that mean I'm going to stay overnight? I'm not really sure. Okay, let's take a look. Let's do one more here. All right. Did I just add that or no? Okay. And we're going to spend a day here too. And I think that's good. Ah, there are a couple of heritage stops that we can make too, right? Somewhere near the Black Buck Safari. Okay. Now that kind of got really expanded. That looks interesting. Let's look at the fort and maybe let's look at, oops. Okay, so that is kind of icky. Okay, that also looks interesting. It's a single rock bed. Great. Okay. So map is a bit difficult to navigate. Now let's just choose the first thing I get so that we can move on. I'd like to see what happens after rather than spend too much time here. Okay. Not bad. That looks like a lot of stuff to do, and let's update the trip. That should do it. Okay, let's save the trip and let's take a look at what my itinerary looks like now. Not bad. That's a pretty cool map to follow. Now, if there was some way to sync that into your phone, or if there was an app that would let you follow that route on your phone, that'd be great. So I'm not sure how that works out, but on a computer, it's pretty cool actually on how it pans out and how the trip gets planned. It would be very interesting to run this plan out and see if it actually works out and create that. One other thing that I'd like to try maybe before I go is to take a look at okay, so oops, missed that. Didn't realize that there was more below the screen. So there's a day-by-day breakup that shows up, which is really cool actually. So you could print that out and take it along, and it would make it really easy for you to remember where to, where you're going to be doing what. So that's pretty cool, and it's by day. That's really nice. I'd like to take a look at what happens when you customize a trip. Okay, kind of does what? Okay, let's go forward and see if there's anything different from before. Nothing that I can really see that kind of, stands out as different from editing. So I'm not really sure how customizing would make a difference, right? But okay, save trip, same thing. So that was my quick spin of Scout My Trip and how the site works and how the planning works. They claim to be the ultimate road trip planner. Well, I don't know about the ultimate, but I definitely agree that they are way better than any others that I've tried until now. My only questions are to see how they go forward. There's some things I'd like to see them do better. I'd like to see more vehicle options. I'd like to know why the vehicle option is important. A little more ease of use, because like when I did it the first time, I completely didn't realize that I had to choose each spot, and at that point the map kind of gets quite congested, and when you stretch it out, it doesn't move around fluidly. That would be really nice to see. I'd like more ease of use. Maybe something that also pops up and tells you how to use the site the first time you come, or at least help options so you know why you have to choose what you're choosing, why you need to fill, and how you should be filling it. Apart from that, I'm really happy with what I saw. I'm quite excited. I do hope they do have an app, because I got an email from them. They're currently running a contest and asking people to create trips as a part of that contest. But apart from that, the email also talked about using a computer rather than using a phone to be able to create these trips, because like they said, it looks better on a bigger screen, which is true. But I'd like to see more mobile options, because come on, when we're traveling, you don't have a computer handy all the time. It's the phone that you're going to be using all the time. So it'd be great to have great functionality on the phone and have it going really well, because then you could make changes and use this app on the go. You could also then maybe use the app to show you the route and all of that. So I'd like to see all of that also built in, and that, yes, would kind of bring it closer to that ultimate title. But on the whole, really good. I really enjoyed using it. And if you're looking to plan a trip, I would definitely recommend you try Scout My Trips site and plan your trip. So that's about it for me today. Bye-bye.